Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, no matter where you're watching this or when you're watching this. Welcome to Train Tuesday. I'm your host, Jim Wiggin, and we're going to be talking about some great new items that we've announced for the month of July in both HO scale and N scale. And remember, you have until Friday, the 28th of July, to place your pre orders for any of these items that we talk about. Remember, this is a pre recorded broadcast as I am on the road and doing a lot of shows. We'll talk a little bit about that later, but let's get started with our first subject, and that is the Athearn HO 60-foot ICC high cube boxcar. Now, this modern 100-ton high cube 60-foot boxcar has become pretty common in the modern railroad scene. These cars are designed to carry all sorts of different items, everything from auto parts to forest products. These boxcars are now a fixture to any modern freight train, and we wanted to offer these for you. Now, the Athearn model depicts accurately an ICC-built 60-foot boxcar. Many of the paint schemes from similar cars are also offered in this run as a close stand-in type. We wanted to offer a little bit of everything here for you. And as you can see here, the one pictured, not exactly like what we're going to be offering in this run, but I wanted to offer this to you just so you get an idea of what an Athearn HO scale model looks like. Now, this is the formerly the Ready to Roll line FMC 60-foot high cube external post box. This is Grand Trunk Western 384700. These are actually available and in stock at your dealer. You can order this part number ATH 16112. These are in stock. They just came in stock a few weeks ago. So if you're looking for some of these, especially you Grand Trunk fans, they are available now. But let's talk about what we are offering for pre-order for the month of July. And these can all be pre-ordered through your dealer until Friday the 28th. Now, you folks that are modeling right now, the 1970s, late 1970s into the 1980s, and even into the 1990s, these boxcars are for you. The first one that we're showing here is the chassis system 401009. This is a late 1970s paint scheme. We're also offering these Baltimore and Ohio lettered cars in 3 different road numbers. So you have the road number that you see there, as well as B&O 41011 and B&O 410265. Again, late 1970s will work perfectly into the 1980s. And going into the 1990s, we have CSX. This is car number 161819. We're also offering cars CSX 161823 as well as 161828. 1990s era boxcar. These are certainly going to be still seen on the rails today. Depending on what time frame you are modeling, they could look pretty good or they could look pretty beat up, depending on your era. Next, we've got the Louisville and Nashville car. This is 410246. This is a 1980 on up paint scheme. This would last throughout the 80s, possibly into the 90s. We're offering 2 road numbers for this car as well, LN 410251 as well as 410269. Right next to it, Missouri Pacific. This is car number 269060. This is a 1980 as well. This is a 1980 on up. These would certainly last throughout their ownership of the Union Pacific in various states of disrepair, if you will. Now, these will also be offered in 3 different road numbers. You can also order road number 269071 and 269087. Now, we've also got something for Norfolk and Western fans, and a little bit of something we'll talk about here in a second. Norfolk Western, this is a 1977 paint scheme. Naturally lasted throughout the 1980s. This is car number 604552. You also have the option of ordering 604554 as well as 604557. Now, coming up next is the Rock, car number 532600. For those who don't know, yes, Rock Island never had these. However, we wanted to add these to our legendary livery series because quite frankly, even in the freight cars, they sell really well. Also, something else to think about, there is the Rock Island Rail line now. We did a GP15 for it. We announced it last summer. Should be here. We're hoping the first quarter of 2024. So you might want to pick these up, and maybe you can justify running these with your modern Rock Island Rail locomotives. Now, we're also going to offer this car and two other additional numbers, 532-613, as well as 532-622. Now, let's talk a little bit about the features of these cars. They're going to have separately applied wire grab irons and etched end platforms. Of course, the McHenry scale knuckle couplers are going to be body mounted. They are going to feature detailed underbody, including full brake gear. That's something that you don't usually see in this level of car. They're going to have precision machined metal wheels with the RP25 contours. Of course, they're going to be weighted for optimum performance. And these are fully assembled. They're ready to run. They feature a highly detailed injection molded body. The painting and printing on these cars is phenomenal. Now, minimum radius on these, remember, these are 60-foot cars. Minimum radius on these is 22-inch radius. Now, MSRP on these cars is $46.99. Contact your dealer before Friday the 28th to ensure what your price will be. That is the full MSRP that we're advertising here. So definitely, you guys that are modeling 1970s to 1980s, you're going to want to go ahead and pick up one or more of these cars for pre-order. Now, coming up next, we're going to be talking containers. Now, these containers that I'm going to be talking about today, these are being offered in both HO scale and N scale. Both the HO and the N scale are going to come in two different versions of 3-packs. There are 3 packs and 2 different versions. We're going to go over the road numbers and the owners in a moment. But let's go a little bit of background on these. Now, in the 1980s, domestic containers, and those are containers that are designed to be transferred between rail and truck, started to enter the freight industry. In 1982, APL introduced the first domestic container at a length of 45 feet. Later, as truck and trailer sizes increased, the emergence of 48-foot domestic containers in 1985 soon became commonplace. These 48-foot containers retain stacking frames and connector slots at 40 feet, and the slots on the lower castings are inset, allowing them to be stacked on a 40-foot container. In 1992, container loading surpassed trailers, and by 1994, Burlington Northern had around an average of 9,000 48-foot domestic containers. These were everywhere in the 1990s, and that's what we're showcasing today. These are 1990s era containers. You can see the containers on your screen there. That is from a previous run in HO scale. That'll give you an idea of the detail and quality of these containers. Let's talk about what we're offering for pre-order this month. So coming up first is Allied. Now these, of course, you probably remember these from the 1990s. They were real easy to spot out there on the high rails. This is Allied van lines, and this is the containers included in this that you see on your screen now is 280160, 280175, and 280183. Again, this is 1990s era. Now, in addition to this set that you see here, we're also offering another set that will include containers number 280164, 280181, and 280199. Coming up next is American President lines. Here you can see container numbers 485711, 485732, and 485766. Again, these are HO scale, and we're also going to offer another pack with additional road numbers, including 485709, 485744, and 485783. Almost somewhat foreshadowing things to come. This is 1990s era. This is Burlington Northern Santa Fe. And this was a joint operation, again, 1990s. What you see on your screen here are container numbers 287502, 287505, and 287509. We're also going to offer, in addition to that pack, a pack that will include containers 287503, 287506, and 287508. Now, being a part of those 9,000 containers, these were everywhere in the United States and parts of Canada. I remember seeing these quite often in Rochelle when I would rail fan either Rochelle or the CNI up in northern Illinois. These are the Burlington Northern cars. That you see here are road numbers 287532, 287663, and 287715. Again, 1990s. By 1995, these were everywhere. We're also going to include another package that will include road numbers 287538, 287681, and 287777. Now, folks up in Canada, don't worry, we have not forgotten you. We've got a couple of different containers we're going to show you. Here we've got the cool CN Intermodal laser containers. Road numbers 280203, 280216, and 280234 are shown here. We're also going to offer an additional pack with road numbers 280209, 280222, and 280251. Following that, we've got CP Rail and their intermodal freight systems. These were also very common throughout the United States and Canada. Pictured here is 680415, 680420, 680431, and then, of course, another additional pack, which will include road numbers 680418, 680422, and 680439. Let's talk a little bit about the features of these cars. These are all new road numbers. That's why I tell you what is actually in the different packages, what you see on your screen, as well as the additional pack. They're going to come in two. Each road number will have, each road name will have two packs with 3 containers included. These are fully assembled. That's kind of nice because don't have to worry about doing anything except maybe weathering these guys. They're easily stackable, and each container is individually numbered. We know there's a lot of folks out there that are hardcore contemporary or earlier container modelers, and we've gone through a lot of research for these. Now, these are available, like I said, in a 3-pack. That 3-pack is MSRP $44.99. Contact your dealer for your price, but you're definitely going to want to get those in, pre-orders in before the end of the month. That's coming right up. In fact, it's about another week now. N scale guys, don't worry. We've got the same containers for you, same road numbers and same road numbers. I'm not going to go through the road numbers again since I've already gone through them for the HO scale, but rest assured you do have the same road numbers. Now, these are from a previous run. You can see how detailed these guys are in N scale. Look absolutely phenomenal. And the biggest thing about these is the printing. So we're going to offer the Allied as well. Remember, these are 3-packs, 2 3-packs per road. So Allied, you'll get a total of 6 containers that you can add to your layout. Of course, the APL, these were quite common in the 1990s. N-scale guys, you might as well take advantage of intermodal because whether you're doing N-track or Fremo or you've got a large N-scale layout, you can really do some cool intermodal railroading. Of course, we're going to offer the Santa Fe BN version as well, 2 different packs of 3. And the BN America as well, 2 different packs of 3. Here we've got the CN Intermodal Laser. Again, these are all 1990s, so if you're modeling 1990s, these are pretty much a mainstay of your inventory. And then finally, the CP Rail Again, you've got until Friday the 28th to place your pre-orders. Do it now. Don't be disappointed because they tend to go fast when they are in stock. Now, I also want to let you guys know I'm going to be on the road in the next few weeks. Coming up, it's just about a week away now. I'm going to be at Collinsville, Illinois for the St. Louis RPM meet. Now, that starts on Friday the 28th and ends on Saturday the 29th. Now, I'm going to have a small tabletop display there. I'm going to have some new stuff that is recently put into stock at your dealer. So if you stop by and visit me, you'll see some stuff and be like, hey, when's that out? Well, it's actually out now. We like to show you what's out. We might even have some surprises for you. So stay tuned for that. And then later in August, myself and Mark Williams, we're going to be in Texas. We're going to be at the National Train Show. That starts Friday the 25th of August, and it runs until Sunday the 27th of August. So if you can make either one of those shows, please, by all means, stop by the booth, say hi to Mark and I. We always like to meet our customers, and it's always a good time. So I hope to see you at one or both of those shows. So that's what I've got for you. Again, these 60-foot box cars, as well as the containers in both HO scale and N scale, they're available for pre-order until Friday the 28th. That's July. That's coming right up. So go ahead and get to your dealer before too long. You don't want to be disappointed next year when they're all out of stock. That's all I've got for you today. I want to thank you for joining me here on Train Tuesday. If you found us on YouTube and you like the content that you're seeing, please do us a favor and like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new video drops into our YouTube channel. Until next time, everyone, I want everybody out there to be happy, be healthy, be safe, do some good modeling, and above all, high greens. Good night, everyone.